Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here again. Today we're going to take a look at Pocket Mars. Pocket Mars is one of those games that you can play solo and is in a very small box, which is why we're going to take a look at it, obviously. Um, so let's jump in, yeah? So Pocket Mars, I want to say you're really competing to try and be the first one to occupy the facilities on Mars, but it's a little bit deeper than that. You are trying to be the first one strategically to occupy certain parts of the facilities up on Mars. And to do that, you're going to utilize cards and effects and whatnot to get you there. So we're just, wow, that's really stuck in there. Why are you stuck? Okay. Just take a look at some of these cards really quickly. We have this nice guy right here, which I believe is the first person card, first player card. We have each of the different ships. I think they're the same on each side, which it looks like that's about true. This can be played multiplayer, so there are 4 different ships. The only difference, obviously, is color. So red, green, yellow, and blue. You also have your player aids for multiplayer. And then you're going to have your player aids for solo. The solo game plays basically the same with some minor differences. The AI plays slightly differently. We have our Earth card. This is where your I guess astronauts start out. They will go from Earth to your shuttle, and then from your shuttle to Mars. And then we have, let's see, yeah. Then we have the different facilities on Mars: Energy Bank, Comm Center, Habitation, Greenhouse, Aqualab. So, with the exception of the Habitation, which is the black card, each of the other 4 facilities are represented by a suit, which will also be represented in the deck. Well, I guess this suit is represented, but I guess I was wrong on that. The black suit is represented, but it is there's some special rules that have to do with black suit as far as, well, essentially, you cannot place an astronaut in the habitation. Right here at the bottom part, there would be a box depicting where they can hang out. You'll see here that it shows a cross mark through the astronaut helmet. Basically, they cannot occupy that area. However, if you look at these ones, they all have the little box that shows, where they occupy. The 1 star, this is where they start. So as they come to these areas, they're going to occupy this space right here. And then as you play the game, you're going to try and move them over here. The stars represent victory points, and obviously you're trying to get more victory points. The other upside to that is that only a finite amount of astronauts can be in this section at any given time, based on the number of players you're playing. So, like, for instance, 2 players, you get only 1 astronaut in this space at any given time. So the first person to occupy the space effectively locks it out. Now, they can be moved out. There are ways to move them out, but you can see that it's the same through all these cards. Up at the top, it shows little special abilities, and actually, if you look at the green ability, it shows how you can move astronauts. So you could actually move your opponent's astronauts out of those areas if you so chose to. But yeah, that's how that works out. So like I said, each of these cards is represented right here. Now, the back of these cards is different than normal card backs, because when you have a normal card back, you're not trying to you're trying to conceal what the other side of the card is. In this case, we want to know what the suit is, regardless of what the building is. So the one side shows the building, the back side shows the suit of that building. And the reason for that is because you're going to always have at least 2, no, actually I shouldn't say at least. You're always going to have exactly 2 of these plans, which are what these are, they're plans, face down in front of you, as well as 2 in your hand. And the reason that you have two face down in front of you is because your opponent has the choice to steal them from you. And it's not really stealing so much as they're going to use the plan. It is stealing, but they're going to use the plan and in your stead. They make it sound nice in the rulebook, but it's not. It's stealing. They're stealing it from you. So you're going to see different backings on all these cards to help you kind of figure out what your opponent is planning. This is also a great way, if you're playing, to kind of create subterfuge and throw off your opponent by playing things face down that maybe you weren't necessarily planning on playing, but to give off the idea that you were playing those. And each one of these has two sections on the card besides obviously the art area. And those two sections happen at different points in time. So if you play this card from your hand, which is denoted by that little symbol there, you will get this effect right here. However, if you play this card while it was face down, you get a different effect completely. When you play a card from your hand, you just simply discard it, and once it's had its effect. When you play it when it's face down, you're actually going to add it to that suit's building. So let's say this was the building. You're actually going to add the card to the building. I believe it's like this. I can't remember. Maybe it's like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like that. But you're going to add the card to the building, and you're going to compare this number to this number, or this number to whichever card was previously played there. So let's just take an example like this, because what you want is you want the highest number. Okay, so if you played this card right here and you compare it to the 3, you've played a higher number, which means that you could take one of your astronauts from your ship and now you place it into one of the colonies. And that is one of the ways that you can place astronauts from your ship onto a colony. It might be the only way, but there might be cards in here that allow you to do it. Not 100% sure. Each of the locations also has a number on it as kind of a default number. So if there are no cards here, the default number is going to be 3. So if you play something like this right here, your number is lower. So while you'll get the lower effect, you won't get the astronaut placement. So you have to pay attention to how you do that. And that's also another way that you can kind of mess with your opponent, is play cards in there that are very high to make it very hard for him to play a higher card, and thus forcing him to play a lower card that you might be able to play off and really benefit yourself that way. You'll also notice that this one does not have a number on it, because all of the cards for that are a 0 as well. When you play this card while it's face down and you add it to this location, you will never be able to benefit from an astronaut leaving your ship to join the colony. That's just one of the other drawbacks to the black location. So, we can go through this really quickly so you can see the different cards that you can pick up here. I saw 7 there. I think 7, maybe 8 is the highest. But I'm thinking it's 7 is the highest. Yeah. So those are cards in the deck. You're also going to have, in each color, a set of wooden astronauts, 7 of each, and 1 energy tracker. So on your ship, you have energy. This energy will be used variously for different effects. It also will help at the end of the game as far as victory points are concerned. Like I said, you have different colors. When you're playing the solo version, there's some differences. You're only going to play with two characters. One of the characters is going to be the AI. And the way that AI works, essentially, you can still steal from the AI. But if you do steal from the AI, it forces a refresh of the cards that are in front of him, which slowly but surely dwindles away at the deck. And the end game for a solo game is that the deck runs through once. So once the cards are out, that's it. So there's kind of a timer there. I don't remember exactly how it works, but there is a timer based on the deck and how many times cards get swapped through with the character. But that is basically what Pocket Mars is. It's essentially a race to get your astronauts off of Earth and into your ship, and then off of your ship into the colony. You still receive victory points for having astronauts in your ship, but you do not receive any victory points for having your astronauts on Earth. And obviously, you receive more points for having them on the colony, especially if you have them in the 2-star box, because it's worth more victory points. When you're facing the AI solo, the AI gets more points generally for just about everything. So that means for extra energy left over, for how many astronauts are sitting in certain places, so on and so forth, which makes the game really challenging. I've played it, I think, 2 or 3 times solo, and I have never won. And I think I've played it 1 time where it was 2 players, and it is cutthroat nasty. So if you are a very competitive person, this is a great game to play with other people. It's also a great game to end friendships. So, just be aware of how competitive this game is. And that is Pocket Mars. That is all it takes. So, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And I'm always looking forward to your comments. And until next time, guys,